I've mentioned in previous video that I was diagnosed with blood cancer at Christmas 2013. And the following April in 2014 I went to an Impact Day, which was hosted by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Research, which was the name of our charity back then. And it was there that I met Trisha, Roz and Chris, three of the original Calendar Girls, who had produced the now famous alternative WI calendar. Their story was turned into a film and a stage play, and more recently into a musical written by Tim Firth and Gary Barlow. Through the charity I was involved on the periphery, both in the West End at the Phoenix Theatre and more recently on the tour of the show. I got to meet some wonderful people, all of whom have been an incredible source of inspiration to me. The main source of inspiration throughout all this period has been those original Calendar Girls. Shortly after the show finished in the West End, and I was really looking for something new and original to do, something that no one else had done, and do all these challenges with my friend Tom, who's been with me right since I was diagnosed, and we just didn't know what to do. And then I got the CD playing in the car of the Calendar Girl show, and the opening song was called Yorkshire, and one of the lyrics in the opening song describes about a truck driving from Amsterdam to Yorkshire. And then this lyric just wouldn't go out of my head, Amsterdam to Yorkshire. It just kept repeating in my head. And I remember phoning Tom saying, I've got an idea. And he was up for it straight away. And that was how in 2018 we decided to cycle from Amsterdam to Yorkshire. So we started at Anne Frank's house and we finished at the Yorkshire Dales Centre at Grassington, which is where John Baker worked. But the lovely thing was that when we got to Grassington, to the visitor centre, all the original ladies, WI Calendar Girls, were there to greet us and to welcome us. And then this year there's a song in the show called Kilimanjaro, which is why we're going to be climbing Kilimanjaro now, trying to do it from home. So some pictures and a little bit of footage from Angela at the end telling her story. So I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.
Well, my story begins with just a normal family, like most stories. I lived with my husband John, and we had two children, Rachel and Matthew, and we lived in a tiny village in the Yorkshire Dales. And John was the Assistant National Park Officer for the Yorkshire Dales. And he was a very fit and healthy person, never had a day off work. And then he suddenly started feeling not very well, and it led to going to the doctors, and then the shock that he had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And we didn't know anything about it, really. We'd never heard of it. And we soon got to know about it because he had an awful operation and was in hospital for 5 months until he died. But we lived in a little village where I went to the WI, and we had a great group of ladies who were friends, and Tricia had this idea ages ago of doing an alternative WI calendar, Pirelli style, but doing the crafts of WI. And we'd laughed and joked about it and thought what month we'd like to be and what craft we'd like to be doing, but of course we didn't do anything about it. And then when John became ill, the idea of the calendar came back. And the idea was that hopefully John would have been able to come and watch us have our photographs taken. But this wasn't to be, but he did know about the calendar. We told him about what month we were going to, we would be and what craft we'd be doing, and he just laughed. He said, "You'll never do it. You just all talk." But you see, you don't say that, do you, to a group of feisty Yorkshire ladies? And after John died, Trish and Linda and Ros got together and said, "Come on, let's do this calendar, because even if we don't sell any, it would give Angela something to do during the long, weary months in the winter." And that's exactly what we did. We got sponsorship. Terry Logan took beautiful photographs of us, and we launched our calendar in April '99 for the year 2000, hoping that we would sell 3,000. That year we ended up selling 88,000. And we were raising money, of course, for Leukemia Research Fund, as it was then. It was called that. And then it just went on and on. We were approached about making a film, which we had to really think hard about. But we did, and we got the right people to do it. And of course, we had fantastic actresses, and that was #1 all over the world. And then we had a stage play, which was in the West End for 9 months. And then the Amateur Dramatics did it and raised a lot of money for Bloodwise, which our charity is now called. And of course, coming up very shortly is a musical, which has been in Leeds and in Salford, but now comes to the West End in January, at the end of January. And Gary Barlow and Tim Firth have done that, and it's fantastic. So we're keeping our fingers crossed for it to be a success down here as well. I mean, we had no idea what was going to happen to us. We didn't do it, this calendar, because we thought we were beautiful or we wanted to be famous. We did it because John had died, and we wanted to do it in his memory. And to raise money for lots of other people who get this terrible disease. And that's what we've done. And we will roll with it as long as it goes. One day we know that it has to end. We can't keep having our story done into different things. We've thought about it, as an opera or a ballet, or Christina's always said on ice, but I don't think that will happen. But as long as it keeps going and we can make money, then we will. That's my story.